welcome everyone to another interview on the Connecting to Your Intuition speaker series. And I am honoured to welcome my next guest, Ruth Ratliff. And Ruth, thank you so much for being a part of this speaker series, and welcome to have you on board.
Thank you, Di. I really appreciate being asked to do these beautiful interviews. I think they're so important.
Yeah, thank
Really,
you.
so
And
important.
to share what we all do. So we're also unique and individual, and what we do and what we bring, and it's our own sort of natural God-given gifts. So
Also, I've always been pretty interested in the science behind sound therapy, and my husband got me a ball maybe 15 years ago. Then he got me another ball, and that was the end of that. And then I just felt like it was a natural progression to move into as an extension of my voice to learn how to play these beautiful instruments and to learn how to play them not only for pleasure, enjoyment for my own healing, but to help other people as well.
that's beautiful. And I agree about the magic of music. And it doesn't matter, I feel, what type of music it is. It can be uplifting. It can bring your emotions out. If you're wanting to do journaling work, that sort of deep, heavy music, or, help you energize and do some exercise. So it's got so many potentials. And also I loved hearing about the power of the voice. That I think it goes a bit unnoticed and unrecognized. And it is around the throat chakra, which is all about communication and self-expression. So that's really important as well. So fantastic story, Ruth. Thank you for sharing. And have you got something to show the audience, your special gifts and talents?
Sure, sure. I'd like to do a little quick sound healing therapy experience for people, if that's okay. I'll just
Sure.
grab my equipment. So
And
I'm
I'll
not
just
sure.
tell everybody this has not been rehearsed. Ruth was
This
only
is
asked.
totally unrehearsed. I don't have the right microphones or anything, but it should communicate just fine.
Yeah, so
So
this
what
is
I'd like to
authentic.
do, yep. So these are beautiful bells that I just got a little while ago. We use as sound therapists, we use a lot of different types of instruments because they produce a lot of different types, not only of the frequencies and the overtone and the different resonances, but also the different textures of sound. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get you into a deeper state of relaxation, and it actually triggers the relaxation response, and that can decrease your heart rate and your blood pressure. It can facilitate the release of endorphins, our happy hormones, right? And melatonin. For one of the reasons we love melatonin, because it helps us sleep better. And it also connects the two hemispheres of the brain, and that can produce a beautiful state of heart brain coherence where we get a lot more creativity, abilities, problem solving. Um, we can actually get more focus. That's what people tell me, like when they get off the table or for a group or from an individual session, is they feel like they're more focused, more like on point, like more. What did one person tell me? More alive but relaxed.
Wow,
So there's a lot of benefits to this.
that's beautiful.
And I usually use, as I say, I use a lot of different types of bowls. This is a beautiful heart chakra metal ball. I think it's heart
Wow.
chakra. See, now this is very resonant. The metal bowls tend to have more overtones. And the overtones, if you're familiar with that, if some of your audience are familiar as musicians, you'll know overtones are what they call partials, or frequencies that are above and below the fundamental, which is ah, that's what you're hearing, right? But that's not the full complement of the sound. And the human voice has incredible overtones. And your voice is actually, as beautiful as these instruments are, your voice is actually your healing superpower, because the vibrations are custom made for you, and it vibrates you from the inside out, whereas these are vibrating you from the outside in. And I
Oh,
do
I
these
didn't know that.
virtually. too. Yeah. Do you feel it? Kind of. Can you? Now you
Yeah.
notice you might. It's very compelling, right?
Mm,
It's kind of like it kind of draws you in a little bit. That's the you're in training or syncing up with the dominant sound of the bowl. And then I also use the beautiful crystals. I use the sitting bowls as well as these gorgeous handle bowls as well.
mm,
This is a crown chakra bowl. I was very blessed to have gotten 4 of these.
mm.
Isn't that a beautiful sound? It's optically pure quartz. And
Wow.
quartz has what they call, I always don't know if I'm pronouncing this word right or not, piezoelectric properties, which means it can hold and transmit
Mm.
energy. And some people even, I don't know if it's a scientific principle or not, proof or not, but that quartz can actually um, amplify
Yes, I've
energy.
heard that. Yeah, with the
Yeah,
quartz jewelry and crystals.
yeah, right. And they used to grow computer chips in quartz crucibles because of that property. So we're electrical beings, right? And if I have a thought, which is frequency and energy, don't you think that communicates itself through my intention to the audience, to people? Because we're all in that frequency sort of soup, right? That bath.
Mm.
Because we are beings of frequency and vibration. And
Wow.
I will sometimes vocalize or Hi, Hi,
Wow. Yeah, it's still going. Yeah.
It'll go
That is
forever.
so beautiful. And it was beautiful singing. And I felt with the metal one, I was feeling it here in my heart chakra area. So can you explain? Now I'm curious now, Ruth, how do you do a session with a client using these tools? Is it, and you said they
My
were lying down on the table or something.
Yep. I have a beautiful massage table and they lie down fully clothed
Yep.
on the table with a blanket over them.
Yeah.
And then I will put bowls. Usually it's the metal bowls, but sometimes I'll put a crystal on them. The metal bowls on or around their body and strike them rhythmically. And the bowls are designed that I have to vibrate down into the body.
Mm-hmm.
That again, same thing. It triggers the relaxation
Yeah.
response. It's very physical. It gets them really into their body, which I think is so important for us now.
Yeah.
Because people are all kind of living from the neck up. I think that creates a lot of anxiety and stress when you're
Yeah.
not feeling grounded in your
Yeah.
body. So the vibrations really, really sink deeply into the tissues. They actually realign you at the molecular level. If you're familiar with the new science of cymatics, if you've
Mm-hmm.
heard of that.
I haven't, no.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, I have to get a little thing up here. But it is basically the science of visible sound, how sound effects matter. And sound,
Um,
like how woman's high voice, will break a glass. Okay,
yeah.
sound can actually reform matter. They actually break up kidney stones with sound, right?
Wow.
That's ultrasound. So what they found is that each frequency produces a specific geometric shape. And that when you put them all together, like say with a lot of overtones, like with the human voice or a metal bowl or something like that, or a piece of music, it creates these incredible patterns. Use like when you sing, tone, chant, or when somebody plays a bowl on you, or you listen to music, or whatever, your molecules are being rearranged in these patterns.
Wow. And when you put the
That's what's
bubbles
so
on
cool.
and is it like snowflakes? You know how sometimes you've got the
Like
energy of water,
snowflake.
it can make
Yes.
those snowflake patterns.
Yep.
And
Yep. Here I
also
have.
when you're
Yep.
putting the bowls on people, or your clients, I mean, does it shift energy? Does it release energy? Like,
Yes,
does
it
it
can.
shift the
Yes.
like energy that's got stuck? Because if you're
Yes.
penetrating that
Yes.
vibration into the body, I'm imagining if there's something that's stuck, that penetration of vibration should unstick it or clear it to
Yep.
then
Yes.
allow the person to resonate at a higher vibration. Is that the thought?
That's the premise. They found that a lot of trauma energy can be held in the nucleus of our cells, and
Yes.
especially the crystals. I believe that the crystals and your voice certainly, your voice especially, can trigger the release of those.
Oh
And
my
I
God, this is
and
magical.
it's fat. It is. We are magic, die. We are
Yes.
magical.
And that means you in the audience, you are magical as well. We are
Yes,
all magical. And this,
you guys,
yeah,
and you folks out
exactly.
there, you're all magical. We're
Yeah.
magical beings of light and vibration.
Totally. This has been so fascinating, and I was not aware of it. I mean, I'm aware of the bowls, and I've got some other little chimes and things I use to clear energy, like in my studio and healing room, or even in the house. If it's a stagnant, feel there's stagnant energy in corners or darkness, I'll just clang my little
Yes,
chimes
yes,
around, and I'll
yeah,
clear the energy space when I do massage and things underneath the table and around it, just to clear anything that might have been dropped by a previous client. So I'm aware of it, but I wasn't aware of putting the bowls on the person.
yes, yes. And I also work virtually as well. Of course, being in the presence of an instrument is much different than, it is different, but it absolutely works virtually as well because I believe what's being communicated through the ether is my intention.
Mm-hmm.
Being amplified by the instruments, and I think that absolutely the concept, the quantum physics concept of non-locality applies very much here,
Yeah.
right? It all we're all connected. So virtually it works as well for individual and even for groups as well. uh,
Wow, that's
if they
cool.
all need earbuds or headphones, are highly recommended for the sound quality.
Yeah.
But the in-person session is about an hour, and that's also the virtual. So it's nice. I worked with a gal in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, not too long ago.
Wow. And that's
On my
fantastic.
website.
And have
Yeah.
you got a success story, Ruth, about unlocking inner healing to live your best life?
Yes, I absolutely do. It was how people talk about working with your inner child.
Yeah.
I never really got what that meant, and not it wasn't actually, it was maybe just a few years ago. I started to actually really visualize myself as a little girl, like a picture, from way back when, little red overalls and blonde hair. And I put her in my mind's eye. I sat her on my lap and I talked to her and I told her that because I feel like we abandon our child.
Mm.
We abandon our inner child, and that's a lot of what people are walking around like we're children in pain, in adult bodies. But I put her on my lap and I spoke with her, and just to the fact that I love you. You did nothing wrong. I grew up in an alcoholic family dynamic. My parents, my brother all passed away before I was 30. So there was a lot of trauma and healing that I needed to do. But I needed to connect back with her. And in that moment, when I was with her, my my mother in spirit, I believe, and my grandmother were with me, and we were holding each other, and I had what I thought was somebody, previous lifetime of me. I don't know, but it was like a priestess came and also held all of us. It was so it blew my mind.
Mm.
And so from now on, I will check in with her,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, it's such a simple thing to do, but it's like I'm acknowledging that aspect of myself, and I am integrating it, and I think that's what's really important.
That's beautiful. And it is so powerful. I mean, I did some work last week with my inner child, working with Adrian, and cleared things from when I was, 2, 3, or even 6. And I feel like my communication style is now an adult. And I think I'm day 7 or day 6 of being an adult as opposed to operating as a 6-year-old. And
Right.
it's so powerful, what we do. And I agree, I have forgotten to connecting with my inner child on a regular basis. But it is such a beautiful way to heal and get into your inner gifts and connect to your intuition, and start to live your best life. And
I was just going to say your intuition, because your show is about the intuition,
yeah,
and that, my gosh, children are so intuitive. I
yes,
remember being so much more intuitive and getting all these, communications when I was a kid, and you grow out of that somehow, or
yes,
as an
and
adult, so to connect back is very important for that.
exactly. And that's what this is about. This series is showing, demonstrating how, look, each of the people I'm interviewing, including myself, we are all using our intuition all the time. And it is to show you, the audience watching, that it's so powerful. And we've all got it. It's a gift innate within ourselves, and we just need to remember to tune in and turn it on and use it. The more you use it, it's like any muscle, the more, the stronger it gets. So this
And
is
to trust
fabulous.
it.
Exactly. That is the key. So, who do you help, Ruth, or what topics do you cover in terms of using your musical therapy?
The sound therapy predominantly helps. It can help with a lot of different things if you keep coming back to it. But I feel initially it's very helpful for people who uh, have anxiety and stress. Who
Mm,
doesn't have a little stress and anxiety? And
yeah.
also, it helps sometimes with managing some pain, because it can actually increase blood flow sometimes. Very, very good with that, for ameliorating that. And I also work with with your voice as well.
Hmm.
I have 2 courses online, and I work helping people. I hate to use that, sounds so trite, find your voice. It really isn't finding your voice. Your voice never left you.
Mm,
It's kind of like connecting back to and acknowledging this incredible healing instrument of empowerment and clarity. And I don't know what else. It's the words escape me, because there's so much more to this than we know.
yes, I
Yeah,
agree. And I think it's fascinating. It's like, you're unpeeling this whole area of
right.
healing arts, because and you're working with what we've got, like here, and the intuition, and using the beautiful sounds, and your beautiful sound, your voice, and everything as well. So I feel you're just creating more magic, Ruth, or opening up the magic within each person you work with.
Yes, indeed.
Mm,
Opening people up to the magic of their own incredible, incredible potential,
mm,
really.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, but first we're working on just sort of, calming people down, because you've got to be in that rest and digest state,
yeah,
and allow yourself to be still, and to
yes.
create space to listen, to be able to listen to your inner guidance. And
Mm, yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure to interview you, have a chat, and find out more about sound therapy. I realize I've said the wrong thing with musicals, so sound therapy. And I love the work you're doing. So thank you so much, Ruth, for sharing your gems of wisdom.
it was my honor to be here today, Di. Thank you for asking me.
My pleasure. Thank you.